South River High School football. Today's matchup features the Bulldogs of Metuchen High School and the South River Rams. Well, hi everybody, I'm Craig Scupp along with Mark Gregory. And Mark, it's up to the Bill Shateri squad to bounce back from last Friday's tough 7-5 loss at Highland Park. Rams led late in the fourth quarter, had 13 straight quarters without giving up a touchdown, but that Terry Harrison TD with about 3 minutes to go, Rams suffered their first defeat on the 85 campaign.
Yeah, well, we're sorry we couldn't bring you that game. They wouldn't let us there to do it, but that's another thing. The Rams, they just forced turnovers. Highland Park was threatened. They get down. They'd force a fumble, playing good defense. They just didn't generate any offense.
Yeah, the Ram defense was solid. The offense, basically, Joe Shipkowski carried 22 out of the first 25 times. And the first time the Rams threw the ball in the game, Joe threw it. So the Rams did not have that much diversity, constantly going to Shipkowski, who had a solid first half, but only had a couple yards rushing in the second half. Had to be tired.
Well, he had to be in it. If you're not going to throw the ball, if you're not going to mix it up, you're predictable, and the defense is just going to read key on him, and they're just going to stop him. They're not. Shipkowski can't carry the ball 22 times today out of 25 and expect to, and the Rams can't expect to win the game.
Bulldogs come in 3-1, coached by Ned Ennis in his first year. Spent a lot of years, 12 of them, in fact, as a Bulldog assistant. Their wins 19-9 over Monroe, 15-12 over South Brunswick, and a shutout of St. Peter's, 18-0. Their only loss blank by New Brunswick, 20-0. They've been hurt by graduation. Their backfield only has one returning starter, and Rob Leaf, and he made his first ever start last year at Denny Stadium, and the Bulldogs clobbered the Rams 35-6. You know, Bill Shateri reminded South River of that game.
True, and Rob Leaf leads that veer offense. It always gives South River trouble. That option type offense, and he's a good runner. He's elusive, and that's what you need for the option back. To read the end and know whether to hand off or take it himself. So, and he's got two running backs there, senior Matt Burns and junior George Kuhn back there to help him out.
We didn't really expect too much of a passing game from Metuchen. I mentioned Ned Ennis in his first year. Mike Solano, who coached here last year, he's moved on to Perth Amboy. Metuchen was 6-3 last year, and of course beat the Rams 35-6 at Denny. The Rams won the '83 contest here at Edgar Field by the score of 16-6. And I think we're waiting for the officials to come into the field. And the Metuchen and South River squads both were introduced. And to our right, we see the Metuchen team warming up. We talk about the Ram defense, Mark. 13 straight quarters to that Harrison TD. Really solid. And it's a lot of the younger players playing well. Paul Barkalow, who was hurt last week. Tom Eicher's got a bunch of interceptions. So the Rams going with a pretty inexperienced club outside of Sid Crawford and Joe Shipkowski, the seniors on defense.
True, but as each game goes on, they get more experience, and then it even looks better for next year. They come in as juniors, and then the year after that, when they're seniors, they should play flawless football.
One thing we should look for, I think, of the Metuchen offense, two big tackles. Scott Zollner, 6'1", 230, and Joe Rekulak, 6'5", junior, 215. So you know they're going to try to run Matt Burns and George Kuhn off them. And you mentioned the Rams always have trouble, especially like when Bishop Barr had passed, when they had that kind of veer offense working out of the option. Leaf just killed the Rams last year at Denny.
Well, again, Metuchen's lacking experience on their line. They don't have any returning starters on their line. But then again, they're big kids, and again, they have some games under their belt. So they're going to look for, they're going to run. They're not a passing team. So the Ram defense is just going to have to put pressure on them, make them force bad pitches, and force fumbles on that transition.
Injury report for South River. Paul Barklow, I mentioned, hurt last week, had a concussion, and missed the second half against Highland Park. He will sit out along with Dennis Nowicki, who's been suffering from a back problem. So with Nowicki out, Sid Crawford, who was penciled in as the middle linebacker in the preseason, been playing a lot of tackle on defense.
And Garth Smalley's done a great job filling in for Sid at linebacker position. And then you have the Shipkowskis on the outside linebackers positions, and they've been playing well.
So we're just about set. We see the officials in the middle of the field with the captains from Metuchen. Rams lead this series 11-7. This is a game the Rams always used to play Metuchen. But until they got into the Bicentennial Conference, it was a lot of years between two squads never played each other.
True. And now that they started playing them again, what, in '82?
Mark, I hope this is an indication of the game. We're off to a slow, sluggish start. I don't know what the problem with the officials, either getting the captain's names or... So we'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. We're back at Edgar Field. The Bulldogs have won the toss, elected to receive, so we're looking at number 9, Mike Lepore, set to kick off for South River. Rams will be going from right to left here in the first half. I think you mentioned Rams' special team's been much improved this year, especially on punts. Been really solid.
Yeah, we have to just iron out that punt receiving. We always manage letting the ball bounce or bobbling, and you know, when they're back there, they have to know when to fair catch the ball.
So number 2, Ed Feebles, 5'4" senior, back deep for Metuchen. Line drive kick, rolls out of bounds. The penalty be against South River. To do it over again, not the way to start a ball game.
I see Ron Sadowski out there on the special teams. I think this is his first play. It was his first play in the game this season in the game. Number 26.
So this time Lepore will be kicking off from his own 35. We always talk about how important field position is. A lot of times Rams this year offense has started with such poor field position, so Metuchen will get a break.
That they will. Field position's a big part of the game. South there, Lepore doesn't have an overpowering foot.
So Ed Feebles, number 2, waiting back at his own 10-yard line. Mike Lepore will give it another try. Taken by Ed Feebles, straight up the middle of the field. Has some running room, finally tripped up. Like Craig Bailey got a hand on him. That was a touchdown saver.
That was a nice run. They had a good wall right up the middle. Right up the middle of the field.
Let's set the Metuchen defense for you. Mark Bridges is the split end. At tackle, Scott Zollner and Joe Rekulak. The guards are CUNY Lee and Peter Bauer, and Matt Smellis is the center. Tight end Seth Orenstein. Rob Leaf, number 10, will be the quarterback. The halfback is number 19, Matt Burns. The fullback, 34, George Kuhn. And the flanker will be Ed Feebles. We'll set the South River defense after the first play from scrimmage from Metuchen. Matt Burns runs into John Murphy. The Murphy and Joe May at the defensive ends. Sid Crawford and Bill Shern at the tackle. Larry Crawford at nose tackle. The linebackers, Joe Chipkowski, Garth Smalley. We'll see if Todd Check is starting. And the secondary, Tom Eicher, Mike Dean, and Rob Ballas. Again, we're going to look for Metuchen to stay primarily on the ground. Number 5, Dylan Clear has checked in, a junior. From Metuchen, second down for the Bulldogs. Pitch to Burns, trying to get around the outside, and Joe Chipkowski read that play beautifully.
Good defensive play. The linebacker came up, the defensive backs read the play. Rob Leaf didn't fool anybody that time.
Of course, the option offense is so potent, especially out of the wishbone. The only problem is when you get behind in the game, the second half, and you're such a running team.
Yeah, you'd want to put the ball up in the air when it's late and you're behind, and being such, but both teams are run-oriented here. South River doesn't put the ball in the air that much either.
Leaf has thrown 2 touchdown passes, a 21-yarder against St. Peter's and a 6-yard strike against Monroe. So third down, first pass is complete to number 35, Seth Orenstein, senior tight end, will be short of the first down. Be about a fourth and call it a long 4. The Ram defense holds.
That was a nice pass over the middle, though. It's just a short slant. The Rams defense did prevent Metuchen from getting a first down. That's all they needed.
Back deep for South River. Garth Smalley Joe Chipkowski and Tom Eicher. Burns to boot it away from Metuchen. And it'll go out of bounds. Take that bounce back in. That's about the 19-yard line.
He didn't even see the ball bounce right out on the 20-yard line. He didn't even catch it.
The ball did bounce out. I could have I called it, and let's set the Ram offense for you. Wide receiver. Bob Ballas to start at wide receiver. The tackles, Bill Shern and Sid Crawford, the guard. Joe Drum, and we'll see who will place Dennis Nowicki. Todd Check gets the carry. John Murphy to center. Lepore starts at quarterback. Joe Chipkowski at tailback. Todd Check started at fullback, and the wingback will be guard Smalley. Metuchen defense, Barry Thomas and CUNY Lee are the ends. Scott Zollner and Joe Recolek at tackle. Brian Kulchar is the nose guard. Pitch to Todd Check, cutting inside. Tripped up by number 12, Jordan Lewis. Linebackers for the Bulldogs, Pete Bauer and Seth Orenstein. At secondary, the safety, Jordan Lewis. Also on the backfield, Ed Feebles, Mark Bridges, and Matt Burns. The Rams are a 3rd and 7. 8 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Lepore rolling out under pressure through the hands of Joe Chipkowski. And Tom Chipkowski, wearing number 66, he's playing on the line this week due to the injury to Dennis Nowicki. So punting situation. 4th and 7 for the Rams. So Ed Feebles back deep with number 44, Mark Bridges. Craig Bailey on the punt for South River. Nice high boot. Feebles from his own 38. Still on his feet. And finally brought down by Tom Chipkowski at the South River 45-yard line. Quick kid.
Field position, Metuchen just has great field position. South River back in a hole early.
Ed Feebles got a couple of touchdowns, caught a 21-yard TD pass against St. Peter's. Also ran back a punt 65 yards against Monroe. So the Rams got to be cautious of Ed Feebles, 5'4" senior.
He looks to have very good speed out there. He cuts on a dime.
Feebles is wide to the right. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. George Kuhn gets the carry and the first down, about 12 yards. Finally hit down by Sid Crawford with some help from Tom Eicher.
Just a big hole on the right side. Short dive. Metuchen's threatening.
So 1st and 10 Bulldogs. 34-yard line of South River. George Kuhn once again. Down by number 73, Bill Shern, 6'1" junior. 1-yard pickup, 2nd and 9. Art Diem, number 21, is checked into the Rams secondary, replacing Mike Dean. That time, Larry Crawford jumping offside. 5-yard mark-off against the Rams.
Craig, this is a very crucial game for South River in the Bicentennial Conference here. 3-1. They need 6 wins to get into the playoffs, and this could be a very big game.
Real important game. Highland Park won last night. They're 5-0. South Hunterdon is unbeaten. And Keyport has a big game against Red Bank today. If they win, they'll be 5-0. So we got 2 3-1 teams here, the Bulldogs and the Rams. So second down from Metuchen. Matt Burns off the left tackle. Runs into Sid Crawford with some help from his brother Larry.
So it's 3rd and short now. You know they're going to go right up the middle. I mean, South River's just got to tighten their defense up.
Well, 3rd and a long yard. 5:40 to play here in the first quarter. No score. Ed Feebles has checked back into the lineup for the Metuchen Bulldogs. They'll send Feebles wide to the left. Kuhn and Burns, the backfield for Metuchen. Leaf off the option, and he is wrestled down by Garth Smalley. Heads-up play by Garth.
A very good play. Linebacker, middle linebacker, scraping down, reading the play. Keen on the quarterback. Made a nice tackle.
So he lost a couple of yards. It'll be 4th and 3. Number 7, Bill Kading, 5'8" junior, is checked in as wide receiver, replacing Feebles. Last week of the game, Joe Policastro went for a 4th down
Early
in the middle of the field, and
almost
didn't work.
Them. Almost.
So 4th and 3 for Metuchen. George Kuhn straight ahead. Appears to have enough for the first down. Art Diem on the tackle with help from Todd Check, and he's got it. George Kuhn, 5'8" junior, 170 pounds. Ball's at the 23-yard line of South River.
South River just gave him that first down, and with the penalty, hurting themselves early.
So Feebles is split to the right. Keep it on the ground, and George Kuhn has some running room. Looks like close to another first down. Tom Eicher making the tackle. Rams not picking up that fullback.
Not at all. They just... The defensive end and the linebacker and the tackle are just not executing well.
Tom Chipkowski leaves the ball game.
He's the defensive end on that side. He's got to close down that play.
He's replaced by number 26, Tom Chipkowski. Leap off the option, has running room. Touchdown. Rob Leap from 11 yards.
That was Ron Sadowski came in at end. He closed down. Leaf read the play, took it himself on the outside, and went in for the score. So the penalty there, I think, the 5-yard penalty, the crucial play in the drive.
The Bulldogs get on the board with 3:35 to play in the first quarter, 6-0 Metuchen. Mark Schwartzman, 5'4" junior, number 6, will try the extra point. Jordan Lewis will hold. The kick is up, and it is no good wide to left, so we'll take a break. 3:35 to play, quarter number 1, Metuchen 6, South River nothing. Stay with us. Well, look at the field position they start with. 45. Where do we start every drive? At the 18? Okay. You're going to go 7 yards. Joseph Coffin.
It was an impressive drop. Gave him the penalty, right? Yeah.
Go, Andy.
Forcing the kickoff to the goal.
So Mark Schwartzman set to kick off that Metuchen drive. 8 plays, 54 yards. Rich Bird on the run back for South River has some running room. Tries to sidestep and gets it up to about the 22-yard line. I think the difference between South River and Metuchen, Rams just never get that field position. You never get the kickoff to the 30 or 35 or even the 40.
True, and we talk about it all the time, the field position factor. But Metuchen did have an impressive drive. They had some good runs by their fullback.
The wingback guard small. He lost maybe a yard.
South River just not generating any offense.
The Rams actually they give him a yard in that. So 2nd and 9. Rams got to mix it up. Our DM on at wide receiver is wide to the left. Will be guarded by Mark Bridges, number 44. Check and Joe Chipkowski in the South River backfield. We get a penalty flag.
Metuchen went off sides.
The Rams will have a 2nd and 4 now. Get to about the 34-yard line of. Second and 4, South River working out of the eye. Chipkowski in motion. Laporta throw on 2nd down. Incomplete. We have a penalty flag. Going to be pass interference on number 12, the safety, senior Jordan Lewis. No doubt about it.
South River flooded the zone that time. They put Chipkowski in motion, swung him out. They sent Deem deep, and they put Gar Smalley came over the middle with a curl pattern. Or a drag pattern. He was supposed to get that ball from the slot position.
So Coach Ned Ennis, he really feels Mark the secondary really is the heart of his defense, probably their best athlete in their secondary. At that time, Lewis just a little over-aggressive.
That ball was catchable, and if Smalley kept with his motion going forward, he might have caught up with that ball. So it was a good call.
It's the case even when you throw the ball and you don't complete it. There's always a chance, especially in high school. Kids over-anxious, you have a better chance than pass interference.
That's true, Craig.
They make the break work for you.
Uh-huh. Now here they go. They have to capitalize on it.
Rams 1st and 10 from their own 45. Laporta throw on 1st down. Got a man open indeed and incomplete. Was wide open.
He had the whole sideline. If he caught that ball, a turn upfield. He came dragging over the middle, and he was wide open.
At that time, one of the cornerbacks, Mark Bridges, number 44, was out at midfield. Probably would have went about at least 20 yards. Had a lot of running room on the sideline. Rams not executing. So 2nd and 10. Art Diem has come on. He is split to the right. 2:10 to play, 1st quarter. Bulldogs on top, 6-0. Joe Chipkowski on the carry, stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Hit down by number 14. Bill Bandola, sophomore.
Linebacker. Right side linebacker. He just filled the hole.
Started as a freshman last year on the basketball team. So 3rd and 10 for South River. Lepore rolling out, looking deep for Sadowski. Intercepted by Mark Bridges. First interception thrown by Lepore this year. And the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10.
A nice pass, though. He threw that ball far. Just good coverage. He shouldn't have thrown the ball. I mean, Bridges was stride for stride with Sadowski.
The offense obviously opened up a bit from the previous 3 weeks.
And they had opportunities, and South River just let them go. They got a couple penalties.
Dean was wide open and couldn't connect. First and 10 Bulldogs. Kuhn off the right side. Todd Check making the stop for South River. 55 seconds to play here in the first quarter. So number 7 checks in for Metuchen, Bill Kading, replacing Feebles. Seems that alternating Kading and Feebles bringing in the plays for Ned Ennis. Backs are split. Rob leaves the quarterback. The give to Burns for a couple. Say about this field, Mark. Edgar Field, tremendous sight line. You can see everything perfect.
It's nice up here. Beautiful day. Beautiful autumn day.
That should do it for first quarter. Just 2 seconds remaining. So we'll take a break. We'll be back with second quarter action. The score after 1, Metuchen 6 and South River nothing. So back at Edgar Field. First play of the second quarter. 3rd and 6 for the Bulldogs. Ball's at their own 22-yard line. Number 5, Dylan Clear, has come on as a receiver along with Feebles. As Burns goes in motion, Leaf on the rollout. It's complete to Dylan Clear. Very close to the first down. Guard Smalley on the tackle. About maybe a half-yard shy.
They sent a slot back on an out pattern, and the wide receiver just curled over the middle, and the Rams had plenty of defenders in the area.
So he made the first down, 10-yard catch by Dylan Clear. First and 10 Bulldogs from their own 29. Matt Burns on the handoff for about a yard or two. Todd Check making the tackle. We'll call 2nd and 8 for Metuchen first down as Feebles and Clear check back into the ball game. Number 82 comes off Barry Thomas. So Clear, the receiver to the left. Feebles is split to the right. Leaf on the rollout. Complete to Orenstein. First down. Up to the 48-yard line. Bulldog receivers, a lot of room out there.
For not a primarily passing team, Metuchen is putting the ball up in the air well. South River's coverage there, but just not on top of the play. They're there. They're not reacting to the ball.
The first and 10 Bulldogs from their own 48. Bill Kading is wide to the left. Backs are split. Matt Burns for about 6. Larry Crawford, the sophomore, making the hit. You know, you can be in trouble when the nose guard has to make a tackle like that. It's a linebacker's territory.
Again, yeah, South River just not stopping them up front. This is the line play. They're just not closing down on that right side.
Art Diem has come on in the Rams secondary, replacing Dean. 2nd and 4. 9:45 to play here in the first half. Metuchen leading it 6-0. On the Leaf touchdown, we have some motion. Like number 51, Scott Zollner, jumping offside. You know they're going to run off Zollner's side. 6'1" senior, 230 pounds.
You got to go where your strength is. He's been doing a fine job so far.
So it'll be a second down, call it a long 9 for Metuchen.
The Rams have their 40 defense, and
Bill Kading is wide to the right. Pass over the middle, complete to Orenstein across the 45 to about the 44.
both linebackers were rushing on the play, and they threw right over the middle, a short slant where they would have covered the pass. And good call.
Ardiem on the tackle. We mentioned Metuchen not passing a whole lot in their previous 4 ball game, working the Rams with the air game.
Mixing it up well. They're getting good yardage on the run, and which opens the pass up. And
3rd and 3 for Metuchen. Peebles is wide to the left. Leaf on the option, wrestled down for about a 2-yard loss. John Murphy making the hit for South River.
good defensive play by Murphy, playing defensive end. So now it's 4th down. Metuchen's going to have to punt. But again, South River won't have very good field position.
Unless they could do something with this run back. Chipkowski is back deep with Gart Smalley and Tom Eicher. Matt Burns, the senior, will boot it away from Metuchen. Line drive kick goes out of bounds. They're going to spot it about the 23-yard line of South River. So again, the Rams.
Metuchen just didn't let them run it back. They kicked it right out of bounds. Smart play. They know Chipkowski's a threat back there. They're just not going to give him a chance.
So 1st and 10 South River. Give to Joe Chipkowski off the left side, trying to get around the end. Wrestled down by Bridges, and we have a late penalty flag. Looks like a face mask against Mark Bridges. So the Rams get a break there.
South River just not able to do anything. They've only run, that was their 9th play from scrimmage, and just not controlling the ball at all. And they can't run outside. They can't pass. They're not running. Although they had some open pass receivers, they just haven't gotten the ball there. And they get a break here.
Substitutions for South River. Mike Dean and Larry Crawford come on. That face mask. Bob Ballas is wide to the right. Will pour back to throw under pressure, and he is tripped up behind the line of scrimmage by number 50, Brian Culture. 5'8" senior. Rams now call it a 2nd and 5 for a 1st down. 7:20 to play here in the first half. Craig Scuff along with Mark Gregory. Hope you're enjoying the action here on TV 35 after a week's absence. We'll get into that later. So Larry Crawford has come on in the backfield for South River. Rams keep it on the ground to check. Got maybe a half a yard.
Metuchen's offense is shutting down South River totally.
Might be a time to try that wingback play again.
Well, they've been using the drag. Earlier they used twice. They dragged across the middle receivers, and it's worked. South River just not getting the ball there.
So call a 3rd and 4 for a Ram 1st down. 6.5 to play here in the first half. Off left tackle, Chipkowski is going to be shy of the 1st down. So punting situation as Craig Bailey comes on.
So South River had a 1st down and 1 yard to go for the 1st down, and here they have 4th down, 2 yards, and they have to punt it away. Just not executing well.
Ed Feebles and Mark Bridges are back deep. The running game, Rams just getting maybe a yard on each check or Chipkowski carry. Here's the boot from Craig Bailey. It's a good one. Feebles feels at his own 28. Cutting inside. Finally brought down by Todd Check at his own 43-yard line.
Metuchen gets a good run back from Feebles, and he's a good little runner. It was a good punt, though, by Todd Check. He turned that one over.
The Bulldogs will start this drive 1st and 10 at their own 43. Feebles is wide to the right. Kuhn and Matt Burns in the backfield for Metuchen. They give to Burns, trying to break around the outside. Tried to stiff arm Chipkowski. Gain of about 2. 2nd and 8. Dylan Clear checks in for Metuchen, wearing number 5, 5'7" junior. Place number 82, Barry Thomas. So Clear is left, Feebles is right. Rollout play for Leaf, has some running room. Wide open, Orenstein, and he dropped it. That play has worked well. That time Seth Orenstein, just couldn't hold on, wide open.
Really fooling South River. They're wide out deep, and they just take number 35, Seth Orenstein, just put him right, run a pattern right over the middle, and he's wide open.
So now a 3rd and 8 is number 44, Mark Bridges checks in, 6-foot senior. Rams got to come up big here, force him to punt, get some decent field position. They send Bridges wide to the left. As George Kuhn goes in motion. Leaf to throw on 3rd down under pressure from Sid Crawford, and he's sacked. Nice play there by John Murphy and Sid Crawford.
Nice defensive play by South River, and that's where number 35, Seth Orenstein, comes from, that right tight end position, it looks like. He just drags over the middle, and that time he was open too. But Leaf not able to get the pass off.
Rams will have Joe Chipkowski, Gart Smalley, and Tom Eicher back deep. Matt Burns, the punter from Metuchen. Line drive boot. Joe Chipkowski takes it. Nothing but blue jerseys around. And hit down by number 5, Dylan Clear. Rams just too tentative on that. You got to get the ball on the fly.
They just didn't have any wall set up. Didn't really, like you said, it was all blue jerseys down there.
This is the Rams' 5th game mark. I don't remember too many times where a Ram drive has started even close to midfield. It's only happened maybe once or twice in the 5 games.
It has, and you've seen the result.
The 1st and 10 South River. Laporte's going to throw on 1st down. It's complete to Joe May. Knocked out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So Joe May, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the year off a pass from Joe Chipkowski, able to bring that one in. And a 1st down for South River.
So both teams are taking receivers coming across the field, and it's working for both teams. Using the drags, kind of crossing up the defenses.
The 1st and 10 South River is Ron Sadowski checks in. Their own 37-yard line. 3:21 to play here in the 1st half. Moore's going to throw once again. Under pressure, going to scramble. Gets away from a couple of tacklers across the 45 to 46. Heads up play.
What did we say earlier in the year? He was rushing good for the Rams on those plays. And I think earlier, instead of throwing that one deep, he could have did that. But again, not a bad pass when he threw deep. So smart play.
Rams have a 2nd and 2, working from their own 46. Rob Ballas is split to the right, pitch left side to Chipkowski, cutting inside, has the first down. Pick up of about 4 yards.
So the Rams starting to kick in here a little bit, and he got some good blocking over the left side that time. Just a power sweep over the left side.
Rams will have to hurry, though. 2:40 to play here in the first half. Ron Sadowski checks in once again, replacing Rob Ballas.
So we see Sadowski in after being out for the first couple of games and with his back injury.
Played in the backfield last year. They sent him as a wide receiver now to the right as Gart Smalley goes in motion. Lepore looking for Sadowski, and he's complete. He's got Bridges beat. He's going all the way for the touchdown. Ron Sadowski off the injured list. A spectacular catch.
Earlier I was going to say that when they put their power to the left, they have one-on-one coverage to the right, and Sadowski just beat the defender.
Mark Schwartzman, he missed that extra point earlier, so Lepore's going to try. Dino Hall could be a big play in the ballgame. Kick is up and through the upright. So with 2:07 to play in the first half, the Rams get on the board and take the lead 7-6. So Mike Lepore just connected with Ron Sadowski for a 50-yard scoring strike. Kickoff for South River. Ed Feebles is back deep. And touched by Feebles, got to return it. Finally wrestled down. Good special teams coverage there by South River. Like Ty checking on the tackle. Rams touchdown can fire him up.
True, they had Mike Lepore showing that he has the poise back there as quarterback, and an impressive drive. They struck quickly.
Michael Lepore's 2nd TD pass on the year. Actually been more busy in the last couple of weeks with field goal. Had a 27-yarder last week and a 32-yarder the week before against Carteret. So a positive thing for Rams. You want more touchdowns than you do settling for field goals.
True, and now his defense is going to have to stiffen up.
There's Leaf on the option, wrestled down by Gart Smalley.
Coming from his linebacker position, good read, made a nice tackle.
So a minute 25 to play here in the first half. South River takes a timeout. And we'll take a break. You're watching South River TV 35. So 2nd and 9 now for Metuchen. Bridges is wide to the right. Feebles is split to the left. Leafs looking to throw. Off the hands of Bridges. He's covered there by Eicher. And
that was sort of similar to the South River touchdown play, just a slant over the middle. The pass just was high, wasn't there.
A bit of surprise, though, from Ned Ennis Ball Club. Primarily a running club, but Leaf looking to throw.
We've seen an exciting game today so far. I mean, both teams usually run-oriented. Now they're coming out and they're throwing the ball.
So 3rd and 9, a minute 20 remaining. First half of play. Rams secondary, Art Diem, Bob Ballas, and Tom Eicher. Leaf back to throw under pressure from Crawford. Ball's deflected and incomplete. Sid finally getting a shot at the quarterback.
I think he was going deep that time to number 5.
Dylan Clear at time. But I think just as he released that ball, Sid got a pop in him. So they're going to have to punt with a minute 15 remaining in the first half. Rams will have Chipkowski, Gart Smalley, and Eicher back deep. It's like Burns will be punting from about his 10-yard line.
I would go for a punt block here.
The line drive boot fielded by Eicher at his own 45. hit down at the 43, and Rams just too tentative on their special teams there.
I would have put everybody on the line and went for the pump block. 1:05 left.
See, what do you think Bill Shuteri will do here? Just conservative and just run the ball, or keep passing?
Keep passing. Go for it.
One thing you could exploit, Ed Fee was a small kid back there, about 5'4" in the secondary. That left side.
True. Just go over him.
Ballas in at receiver. Lepore is going to throw, rolling out. Complete to Joe May across the 40, knocked out of bounds to the 32-yard line by Bridges and number 12, Jordan Lewis. So Rams aggressive here in the second quarter.
That's what they have to do. Beautiful play. Same play earlier with May coming across, dragging across. So we have Mike Dean coming in now. So look for him to go out now. He was injured out a couple games, but he had a couple key receptions, remember, back in that St. Thomas game.
Rams will have to hurry. Just 41 seconds to play in the half. Rob Ballas is to the right. Guard Smalley and check to the left as Joe Chipkowski goes the most. Complete to Chipkowski, looking to throw for guard Smalley. Oh, deflected off the hands of Bridges. Near interception. That was similar to the Kenny Jackson catch. Went through the defender's hands, and guard Smalley was in back of the back.
That was the Philadelphia-Dallas game. Kenny had a good game. Getting off the subject here. 6 receptions, 134 yards. So anyway, that time, South River, they put Chipkowski, gave him a little swing pass, and he had a receiver open. He just didn't put enough oomph into the ball.
Number 21, RDM comes on. 34 seconds to play. 2nd and 10, Rams. And Rams, some confusion in the huddle. Rams will take a timeout. We'll take a break. Rams lead it 7-6. Stay with us. 34 seconds to play in the first half. Ron Sadowski is wide to the left. Single man coverage, Mark Bridges. Lepore under pressure, and he is sacked. 25 seconds to play. Rams take a timeout. We'll keep it here. Looks like they were going to try to use Sadowski again, like that previous play that worked so well.
Again, they're using Ron. They have to. He's a good ball player coming off his injury. Most teams really don't know about him. He hasn't been in there to be able to scout him, so he's very quick. He showed us some good speed on the reception for the touchdown.
I think Bill liked to use the last couple of games that the tailback option with Joe Chipkowski really hasn't worked that well. I think Joe not really able to plant his feet and get off a good pass.
No, not at all. But there was a good point made up here in the press box that the receiver would have turned to the outside. He actually ran into the coverage.
The Rams take their second timeout here in the first half. Just 24 seconds remaining. Rams have a 3rd and 15. Todd check and guard Smalley is wide to the left. Sadowski is wide to the right as Joe Chipkowski goes in motion. Again to Chipkowski. This time he's going to run with the ball. Has some blocking, and he appears to have enough for the first down. Nice block there by guard Smalley.
It was a good play, too. The Rams just wanted to get that first down, get him out of bounds. They still have time here.
And the Rams are getting deeper in Bulldog territory. You think they'll go for a field goal?
They could even go for a field goal here. Lepore has the foot. He's proved it already.
18 seconds remaining. Rams have come on here in the second quarter.
They have 2 timeouts left, so they could run a play, timeout, run a play, well, they'll have to save one for the field goal if they're going to go for it.
So Ron Sadowski is wide to the right. Lepore to throw. Incomplete, intended for Sadowski. Stops the clock with 14 seconds.
So they should throw into the end zone again here. It's just
we'll have to see if Bill Shitari will try for the field goal. You mentioned earlier, Poor has hit a field goal in each of the last 2 games from 27 yards against Highland Park and a 32-yarder against Carteret. So again, the Rams like to use that play. They're going to send 3 backs to the left. Check, Smalley, and Shipkowski. Sadowski is wide to the right. Over the middle to Mike Dean. It's complete. Brought down at the 7-yard line. With 7 seconds to go, I don't think the Rams have any more timeouts left. So this will be the final play of the quarter. 7 seconds to play. Rams have 3 backs split to the left. Sadowski is wide to the right. Lepore threw it out of bounds, and with 2 seconds to go, the Rams will probably try for a field goal. I don't know, Mark. You get that close, would he be gone for the touchdown there?
You're up. The field goal's a smart play here, I think.
Give him a 4-point edge, so even with a safety or field goal, Metuchen will still trail. But Rams scoring so few points, we saw that 5-0 lead really meant nothing last
Here
week.
we've seen the Rams moving the ball, though. I think they have a little more confidence now in their passing game.
So it should be a 24-yard field goal try. Snap, the kick is up and through the uprights. So Michael Lepore connects from 24 yards out. Ups the Ram lead to 10-6. That'll do it for the first half. Let's run down the scoring with 3:35 remaining in the first. Rob Lee, 11-yard run. The kick fell, 6-0 Bulldog. Rams came on in the second quarter, 2:07 to play. Michael Lepore, 50 yards to Sadowski. Mike's extra point made it 7-6. Then Michael Lepore from 24 yards out. Scored at halftime, South River 10, Metuchen 6. We'll be back with third quarter action in just a moment.
Trick or treat. Hey, remember those days? Well, we're not getting old. We were just born a long time ago. Thing is, people still like getting a treat. I can't envision that wife or lady of yours wanting some candy or popcorn for an anniversary present. She likes that stuff that glitters and sparkles. Therefore,
TV 35 is a volunteer operation. This year's football games are being funded by advertising grants from local sponsors. Please support these sponsors who have made this year's football telecast possible. In football, a group of people have to work as a team in order to win. It's that way in business, too. And in this area, one of the winning teams is Lee's Auto Parts. That's because they've teamed up with CarQuest to assure you of quality auto parts. Lee's carries quality names in auto parts, such as AP Exhaust, TRW Engine Parts, Blue Streak Ignition, Monroe Shock Absorbers, and so much more. When you need auto parts, remember the winning team. Lee's Auto Parts on Main Street in South River. You're invited to the South River Pub, 66 Main Street, South River. Open daily 3 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., Saturday and Sunday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Join us for Monday Night Football, a giant TV screen for all sporting events, and enjoy our Sabrett hot dogs. Experience our casual atmosphere and friendly hospitality. We satisfy everyone's taste, offering pub specials 7 days a week at reasonable prices. So come visit us and let us please you. Walt Swiderski and Matt Vaughn are running for the position of councilman in the borough of South River. They, like you, are homeowners and family men, but more importantly, are taxpayers. Walt and Matt know the sting of using taxes that you feel because they pay those same taxes. As concerned, dedicated, and experienced public servants, Walt and Matt are both dedicated to lowering the tax burden you and they now face. Please help yourself and South River by electing Democrats Walt Swiderski and Matt Vaughn to the Borough Council. Thank you, paid for by the South River Democratic Organization.
So Mark Schwartzman set the kick off. The Metuchen to start the second half. Run down some first half stats. Michael Poore, 5 of 6 for 124 yards. Super first half. Rob Leaf, 4 of 7 for 38 yards. So in the second quarter, Ram offense really picked up. They went to the air.
They did, but a crucial play. Seth Ornstein dropped a pass that would have kept the drive going for Metuchen. Turning point in the second quarter.
The soccer-style kicker, Mark Schwartzman. Bad kick. Rams have to field it. Art Diem brought down at about the 44-yard line. He just got completely under that ball.
So the Rams get some good field position here on a bad kick.
Mark Schwartzman made that kick.
Schwartzman just not getting any foot into that ball.
We're talking up here in the press box. The Rams, a good sign for them is to get decent field position to start the second half and get that offense rolling again. So the Rams have great field position.
That they do, and let's see if they come out throwing just like they went in the locker room doing.
First play of the second half for South River. Pitch to Todd Check. Up to about the 46-yard line, hit down by Ed Feebles.
He got some good blocking that time by Mike Dean and Chip Kowski. So the tackle made by the defensive backfield.
Game about 3, we'll call second down and 7. Joe Chipkowski straight up the middle for about 2. Tripped up by number 78, Joe Rekulak, 6'5" junior defensive tackle.
Trap play that time. Inside handoff to Joe Chipkowski carrying. So the Rams are faced with a 3rd and 5. It'd be interesting to see if they're going to put the ball up in the air here. Passing situation.
One thing we can point out, last week, Chipkowski had to be tired in the second half. He hasn't been used as much in the first half, so he should be more productive here in the second half. 3rd down for South River. Lepore will throw under pressure, rolling out, and he just fired it out of bounds. Bill Shateri looked like the intended receiver on that. That was a smart play.
Smart play. So that Lepore showing some maturity back there, some poise. He's making the smart plays.
The Rams really unable to do anything with that good field position. Craig Bailey has come on to punt. Feebles will be back deep along with number 44, Mark Bridges. Lepore now 5 of 7 for 124 yards. There's the boot from Bailey. Off the side of his foot. Good kick by Craig. Feebles had a notion to pick it up, and it's
a bad field position. I was going to say good break for the Rams and keeping Metuchen deep in their own territory.
Let's run down that Metuchen offense. Split end Mark Bridges. Also expect to see Dylan Clearin at number 5. Tackles are Scott Zollner and Joe Rekulak. Guards CUNY Lee and Peter Bauer. Matt Smellis, the center. The quarterback Rob Leaf. Halfback Matt Burns. The fullback George Kuhn. And Ed Feebles is the flanker. Ed Feebles, number 2, wide to the right. First offensive play of the second half for the Metuchen Bulldogs. Keep it on the ground to George Kuhn for a couple. The fullback, 2 touchdowns on the 1985 campaign. 2-yarder against Monroe, and also scored from 1 yard out against South Brunswick.
That was a good play. Sid Crawford and Tom Chipkowski making the tackle, closing down that left side.
Well, a gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Number 7, Bill Kading is checked in, and the junior is wide to the left. Be guarded there by Bob Ballas. Leaf off the option, tries to cut inside. Nice play there, South River, number 64, John Murphy.
Again, Murphy is experienced there on the defensive end position. He made a nice play that time. Leaf trying to run the option to the outside. Didn't get anywhere, so it's going to be 3rd and long.
One thing I'm surprised, we haven't seen that much from Matt Burns, one of the co-captains. Has just one touchdown coming in, but looks to be an important part of their ball club.
True, they've been utilizing Seth Orenstein a little bit more.
As Leaf on third down, running on the option, gets a couple, be shy of the first down. Garth Smalley made the tackles, had a real good ball game.
He has, coming from that linebacker position. He's been making a lot of tackles. I said, reading the quarterback, and he's been playing there good all year. It was a pleasant surprise for the Rams.
One thing I don't think we've touched on too much, Keith Hudak on the coaching staff here at Metuchen. Familiar name.
Yes. So he should know South.
Doesn't seem right in that Metuchen blue.
No, he doesn't.
Fair catch being called by Smalley over the shoulder catch. Makes that as the Metuchen 48-yard line. Potentially dangerous, but Garth came up with it.
True, well, that was a good play, Garth. It was a high kick. Enabled the coverage to get downfield, and he called for a fair catch. So now the Rams have good field position. He didn't let that ball bounce.
Well, now that Metuchen defense, the ends, Barry Thomas and CUNY Lee, Scott Zollner, and Joe Reculek to tackle Brian Culture, the nose guard, linebacker Seth Orenstein, and Brian Maris, number 43. Secondary, Jordan Lewis, Ed Feebles, Mark Bridges, and Matt Burns. Rams keep it on the ground, fumble, but South River has it.
Bill Shine recovers the fumble by Todd Check.
So Shern with a heads-up play. Rams gain a couple yards off that fumble.
Yeah, every little thing helps.
So 7:30 to play here in the third quarter. Rams lead the Bulldogs 10-6. Here's Joe Chipkowski. Runs into number 43, Brian Merritt, 5'10" junior linebacker.
You like to see your lineman blocking that far downfield. And Bill Shine obviously pushing his man back a couple, 5-6 yards there, enabling him to stay with the runner, and he heads up play.
Rams have a 3rd and 4 at the Metuchen 42-yard. LaFleur rolling out, tripped up by number 64, CUNY Lee.
Good defense by Metuchen. That stops the Rams' drive. They have to punt. Good defensive call.
So the Rams punting unit has to come on once again. Craig Bailey, as Feebles and Bridges go back. About the same spot where he booted away the last time. The Rams have had good field position, but can do nothing with it.
Well, we've talked about that all the time, field position, and now they have it, and not capitalized.
Feebles trying to cut to the outside, wrestled down by number 69, Joe Drum. So 1st and 10 Bulldogs as they'll send Ed Feebles to the right. We give to Burns, loses control, gets it back. Took a nice pop. Like John Murphy on the tackle, would have been disastrous there.
Lucky play from Metuchen to get the ball back. So South River has 2 offensive series, ends up in punts. Now Metuchen here on their 2nd series, and we'll see if they end up punting. And the defense is so far dominating here in the 2nd half.
Loss of a yard, call a 2nd and 11. Bill Kading has come on as a receiver, number 7. Leaf looking to throw. Sacked by Larry Crawford, the nose guard. Leaf's just not fooling anybody on that rollout.
Not this half. They had some success earlier in the game throwing the ball, but the Rams defense is just making the plays now for them. executing well. The coverage in the secondary is good. Like you said, they have a lot of sophomores in that secondary.
So call it a loss of 5, 3rd and 15, 4.5 to play, quarter number 3. Bulldogs take a timeout, so we'll take a break. Rams lead at 10-6. You're watching South River TV 35. So Bridges is wide to the right, Feebles to the left. 3rd and 15. Leaf looking to throw behind Bridges. So punting unit will come on from Metuchen.
So, as I said earlier, the Rams 2 possessions they punt. Metuchen 2 possessions, and now they're going to punt.
Unofficially, Leaf, we have 4 of 8 for 38. And the Rams will send Tom Eicher, Joe Chipkowski, and Gart Smalley back. Matt Burns, senior, will punt it away from Metuchen. Eicher feels it and takes a hit from number 63, Jerry Hoagland, 5'10" senior.
Eicher should have signaled for a fair catch there. He wouldn't have had to take that shot.
Then we point the Rams, not to dwell on it, but they're just still indecisive. The backs, they don't know whether to fair catch, whether to let the ball drop.
That's just been a problem over the years.
A great field position for South River. Get to the fullback check. He is dropped for about a 3-yard loss. Jordan Lewis in on the stop with Feeble. That didn't fool anybody.
I was just going to say that. That play didn't fool anybody. Good defense by the Bulldogs.
That's a play that worked well one time last week against Holland Park because it set him up with Chipkowski running all the time. They didn't expect a fullback.
True, but if it only works once out of 20 times, we really shouldn't go back to it.
Ron Sadowski is wide to the right, Gart Smalley to the left. 2nd and 14. Poor's going to throw through the hands of May. Takes a nice hit from Matt Burns.
Now it's 3rd and long in the Rams. You know they're going to throw the ball. They have to.
So Joe May, the 6-foot junior, has 2 catches already on the afternoon. That time just couldn't hang on. Again, it appears to be a passing situation for South River. 3rd and 14, 3:24 to play, 3rd quarter. Rams on top, 10-6. For looking for Sadowski, through his hands. Had his man beat, Feebles.
The pass was there, it hit his hands. There's no question about it. He should have had the catch. And the first down. So now the Rams are going to punt here. They're not going to go for it. They have a lead. Just keep Metuchen back in their own territory.
South River ample opportunity, starting each of these 3 drives with excellent field position. Rams offense just not clicking like it did at the end of the 2nd quarter. Feebles and Bridges are back. 3rd punt of the 2nd half already for Craig Bailey. High kick from Craig. Feebles is going to field it. Joe Drum down there once again. The Rams special team coverage is excellent.
Bailey getting off a great kick. I think, though, you watch, he's close to that line when he punts that ball. I don't know, in the future against a team that's, Metuchen hasn't really rushed on a punt.
Again, the Bulldogs starting deep in their own territory. We approach the 3-minute mark here in quarter number 3. Neither club able to do much here in the 2nd half.
No, the defenses have been dominating, and the Rams are just going to have to tighten up here and hold and try to get going. Well, they have a lead. They have to protect their lead.
1st and 10 Bulldogs. There's Leaf off the auction. Have some running room. Art Diem able to trip Rob Leaf up. A game about 6. We'll call it 2nd and a long 4. Leaf really hasn't been able to explode like he had last year off that option.
No, but Again, he's only 5'5", a small runner. Can't expect him to do much.
George Kuhn breaking a couple tackles, upended by Art Diem. Has enough for the first down.
There's that play that worked so good in the first half. Just a short dive. And now Metuchen, I believe that's our first down of the half. With 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
So a minute 45 remaining, quarter number 3. Feebles is wide to the right. George Kuhn, not much there. Mentioned last year at Denny Stadium, 35-6. Metuchen clobbering the Rams. Bulldogs were 1-3 at that time when they came to that ball game. So a different ball game than the Denny game. The Ram defense obviously playing much better than last year. I tell you, Bulldogs were really fired up last year at Denny Stadium.
Well, I missed that game last year, but with the 35 points on the board, their offense had to be...
Number 7, Bill Kading, is wide to the left. Is Leaf looking to run off the option. Again, Art Diem on the tackle. Got about 5. So, 3rd and 5. 45 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Mike Dean checks into the ball game, replacing Rob Ballas. Could be the final play of the third quarter now with just about 25 seconds remaining. We had penalty flags on the play. It's against South River. Bulldogs may get the first down off the penalty. It is against South River. That gives the Bulldogs a first down. Costly mental mistake.
Mental mistakes. The Rams just hurt themselves right there. Give them a touch and a first down and keep their drive alive.
Feebles leaves the ballgame, replaced by Kading. Just 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. See if the Bulldogs get this play off. They do not. So the third quarter is history. We'll be back with fourth quarter action. The score after 3, South River 10 and Metuchen 6. So we're set for the first play of the fourth quarter. Craig Scuppel along with Mark Gregory from Edgar Field here in Metuchen. Burns off left tackle. Larry Crawford in on the stop. Call a gain of 2 yards. Called 2nd and 8 from Metuchen. Kading is now wide to the left. Continues to alternate with Feebles. Option play, near fumble as George Kuhn falls right on that. It's always a dangerous play when the quarterback gets popped and he pitches.
That's what I was just going to say. It's the one thing about the option that's scary when you quarterback's getting hit and he's letting go of that ball.
So Bill Shern leaves the ball game for South River. Larry Samuels, number 70, has come on, 5'11 sophomore, at one of the tackle spots along with Sid Crawford. Larry Crawford's the nose guard. Murphy and Tom Chipkowski at the defensive end spot. Here's Leaf on the rollout, looking to throw, now in trouble. And he is sacked by John Murphy.
Murphy stayed home. He trailed the play. Leaf tried to change direction, and he was there. Good defensive play.
thing I noticed about his play, the nose guard, Larry Crawford, he sends kind of a roll out to the right. He almost backed up in a middle linebacker spot.
When they went in motion and they came out, and that's that passing set they have, and as a defensive adjustment there, he came up and he was going to be in the pass coverage.
Seen a lot of punting in the second half. Here's Matt Burns once again. End over kick. Eicher let it go, and it goes out of bounds.
If he would have caught that, they would
at the 34-yard line. I don't want to say that again, but the Rams just don't seem to know what they're doing on some of these punt plays. Just so indecisive.
Well, that was a matter of the kick was just a little over his head, a little too far, and he just probably thought he would have had, didn't want to bobble it. Figured he was better off just letting it bounce.
So first offensive series of the fourth quarter for South River. Mike Dean has come on. Rams going with a two tight end offense here. Give the tie check to fullback, cutting inside. Gets a couple. Feebles. In on the tackle along with number 14, Bill Bandola. Got 5, 2nd and 5. Pitch to Joe Shipkowski, left side, trying to race around Bridges. Gets out of bounds. We have not seen that play that much from Bill Terry today.
Well, it didn't work earlier, and the Rams, the pass was working for them, so they stayed with it. And they have a 3rd and 4. So before they had this situation, and Mike Laporte went back to pass, and he got sacked. See what the Rams do here.
Actually, where they spot, call about a 3rd and a long 2. Check in Joe Chipkowski, the fullback out of the tailback out of the eye. Give to Joe Chipkowski. Not going to get the first down. The Rams offense has sputtered here in the second half.
They played it safe that time. They went with the run. Then the punting unit's going to have to come on in, punt it away. Good defense there by the Bulldogs on the right side. Didn't let Chipkowski, maybe got about a half a yard on the play.
So Craig Bailey, along with his Metuchen counterpart, Matt Burns, busy here in the second half. A lot of punts. Ed Feebles lone back for Metuchen. More of a rush this time. It is blocked by Metuchen. Get all those players up on the line of scrimmage.
What did I say earlier, Craig? I said he's too close to the line. He takes a little too much time punting that ball.
It'll be a big play in the ball game. 8:36.
Sparks up the Metuchen Bulldogs. Gets a little momentum on their side of the field. The Rams defense is going to have to come up big.
Great field position. Ball's at the South River 36-yard line.
I think he took a little too much time getting the ball away. He could have got that ball away. Too many steps.
So confusion on the Metuchen side. They'll take a timeout with 8:19 to play. Rams lead at 10-6. Stay with us. So this could be a big turning point in the ball game. At the Ram 36, Bridges to the left, Feebles to the right. Leaf off the option. Jordan Lewis close to the first down. First carry on the afternoon for the senior.
Nice play. I thought he was going to pull back and throw it. He decided, he saw an opening, took off. I think he fooled the Rams, too. They froze there for a second when he faked the throw, and he ran the ball.
So Jordan Lewis, the 5'8 senior, was the starting quarterback at the beginning of last year, replaced by Leaf in the third game. So 2nd and 1, 7:40 to play in the third quarter. Kading has come on, number 7. He's wide to the right. Backs are split. Pass over middle, batted down by Sid Crawford.
That time it was such a slant to Orenstein, and it just didn't go.
That was a good down to try that. It's 2nd and 1.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That's a ways down, sort of, in a way. I thought maybe they should have probably tried to go deep in the end zone on that play. You know, South River's defenses, though, they'd come up big in times before this and stop teams with inches to go.
So 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs. Pitch to Burns. Wrestled down by Smalley with help from Murphy. Appears to have enough for the first down.
I was gonna say there, you got that much yardage. I wouldn't go with a pitch. I'd go with a straight dive, because on pitchbacks like that, you could get a fumble, you get a defender in the backfield, and you drop him for a loss.
I guess they went with the pitch. A lot of times the defense is so in tight, and the obvious call is the dive. You mix it up, and you could get big yardage. So he got a few yards out of that. Ram defense got to be tough here, approaching the 7-minute mark in the 4th quarter. We'll be at the South River 25-yard line. George Kuhn for about 3. Larry Crawford making the tackle. Shays the Holland Park game, that 4th quarter drive.
Late in the game, and the Rams here have to worry about if they're going to put it in the air. Metuchen's is going to go with the drag over the middle or a curl. They're not going to. They haven't really gone for what you would say call a bomb or anything, but they're close to the end zone. So
Bridges and Feebles spread them wide to the right. Leaf to throw over the middle through the hands of Bridges. About the 3rd or 4th time that's happened.
And Bridges there, he was open. Eicher, just a little too much cushion there. You got to play up tight in that situation. Your back's to the end zone. You can't give a passer that much cushion. Now here, like I said, he's not going to go out and turn it upfield for a down out and go. You got to think back there, and you got to say when he makes his cut, you got to react to the ball.
3rd and 6 for Metuchen. Rob Leaf off the rollout. Lot of running room. Be Todd Check making the tackle. So another first down for the Metuchen Bulldogs. I guess when you look back at it, the Rams had excellent field position those 3 times. They can't do anything. 3 plays later, they have to punt.
This drive, unofficially, I think that was the first time Metuchen was in South River territory, the 2nd half, on that block punt.
So 5:50 to play in the ball game. Rams lead it 10-6. Fake to Burns. Again, that same rollout. Gets away from Check. Touchdown. A 13-yard run. Bulldogs take the lead.
That was just a case of poor tackling on South River. Todd Check didn't wrap the arms. He made the hit. Leaf bounces off. Heads up play and just scoots in for the score.
The Bulldogs now lead at 12-10. Mark Schwartzman, the juniors, come on. Jordan Lewis will hold. They're going to fake it. Here's Lewis on the rollout. And he gets it. So a field goal will do the Rams
no good. I was going to bring that point up. So it's 14-10. The Rams field goal will not help them. I think that's good coaching there. He knows that South River has a good foot in Lepore. And he says, I'm going to go for the extra point, and a good play.
Ram defense didn't even seem to think something like that could happen. Rams basically just minus yardage on their drives. They had 3 plays and they punt. I think Craig Bailey's had about 4 punts already in the 2nd half.
So it was again, the Rams punt twice, 3rd punt, they got a block punt, and their mistake is a Metuchen gain.
So Mark Schwartzman set the kick off for Metuchen. Bulldogs on top now, 14-10.
Rams still have enough time though. They proved they could come back in previous games.
Schwartzman flubbed the last kickoff. See how he handles this one. Line drive boot. Joe Chipkowski takes it straight up the middle of the field. Rams just not doing anything on their special teams. John Coleman, a sophomore, making the stop.
And you could just see this Metuchen team is just fired up. They're going to be playing so intense here. It's just, the Rams, it's just going to be hard for them to get something going. They're really going to have to bear down.
Rams had the great second quarter, but in the second half, offense has just been invisible. Ron Sadowski's caught a touchdown pass. He's wide to the right. Smalley is wide to left. They may try to work Sadowski on Feeble. Looking deep, and no interference call on that. Ryan didn't have a shot at that ball, but that was interference.
It's tough, though, in that situation, because Sadowski actually ran over Feebles. I mean, you really can't call interference on a kid. So,
close call.
Craig, I have to disagree with you on that one, because
I only said that because you're not supposed to have any contact with the receiver.
If the receiver runs into the defender, what could he do? What's he going to have to get out of the way? Excuse me, you know.
So a 2nd and 10 for South River. 5:11 to play in the fourth quarter. Joe Chipkowski in motion. Laporte's got to roll out. Threw it away.
He still had Chipkowski over here. He had Dean out in the coverage. He checked all his receivers. He had time. Smart play.
Now Rams with a 3rd and 10. But Michael Laporte had the great first half, 5 of 6 for 124 yards. Unofficial, I don't think he's completed a pass in the second half. Nope. 0 for 5 in the second half. And the Rams really have no one to blame for themselves. Had the field position, couldn't do anything with it.
So interesting here, they put Bridges on Sadowski, and they flip-flop their defensive backfield.
So Laporte throw on 3rd down, looking for Sadowski. It's complete for the first down. What a game for Ron Sadowski.
Oh, he turned on the afterburners there just to get that ball. It'd be interesting to, it would have been interesting to see if the ball was a little more on target, so to give him that kind of, that chance to turn upfield with the ball. So Ron Sadowski, after coming off his injury, pretty valuable to the Rams.
So 1st and 10, South River. South River crowd comes to life. Rams working from their own 47-yard line. Pitch to Chipkowski and nothing. I guess if you're a South River fan, the only thing to say is why. Loss of 3 yards. The clock's still going. It's not going to fool anybody, Mark. I don't know.
Craig, I have to agree with you.
So enough on the play calling there. We'll leave that to the coaches. Now a 2nd and 12. Rams hurting themselves. Looks like to be an option now for Chipkowski under pressure. That time Joe should have ran with the ball. I don't know. I don't understand the Ram philosophy here.
I don't understand that. The option, that's not going to fool anybody at this stage of the game. You know you're throwing the ball.
That play hasn't worked yet this year.
Throwing. Mike Laporte has a good arm.
That play hasn't worked yet this year. So Rams, after that great catch by Sadowski, how quickly he turns to darkness. They're in the hole, 3rd and 12. 4:11 to play in the game. I think the Rams, you think the Rams will go for it if it's a 4th down? Have to. Looking for Sadowski. Incomplete.
to go first. Realistically, they could get the ball back again after this and still have time.
Rams will take a timeout. Let's take a break.
Andy, break.
Joe Chipkowski goes in motion. Pitch to Chipkowski. Looks like he's going to throw. Incomplete. Check that, intercepted by Jordan Lewis racing along the sideline. So the second interception of the year thrown by Joe Chipkowski. It'll be Metuchen ball. This game, almost a carbon copy of the Highland Park game in the fourth quarter. Rams just 3 plays, punt, 3 plays, punt. They're beating that tailback option play to death. It hasn't worked yet this year. Michael Porter's had the hot hand, and they keep having Joe Chipkowski throw all the time. You figure it out. So the Rams are going to have to take a timeout. Let's take a break. 14-10 Bulldogs.
Break. Andy, break.
So 2nd and 7, 3:31 to play in the ball game. Keep it on the ground, and Matt Burns just eating up the clock. Rams take another timeout, stop the clock. Let's take a break, 3:21 to play. Third and 4 from Metuchen. Bridges left, Feebles right. Burns and Kuhn, the backfield. Rams almost jumped offside. Here's Leaf, has the first down. Or very close to it. Larry Crawford making the stop. Has the first down. That could be the killer right there, Mark.
That's the play. Feebles fakes the handoff, rolls the opposite way of the flow, and just turns it upfield. Nobody there for the Rams.
Clock winding down, 2:55 to play. Looks bleak for South River. Rams got to try to maybe force a fumble. Roll out once again. Leaf cuts inside. Met there by Murphy. 2.5 to play. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9 from Metuchen. Bulldogs in no hurry. Leaf diving for some yardage. Bulldogs just content to work the clock here. First down for them would be nice.
A first down here would really end it for the Rams.
Rams have no timeouts remaining. Minute 40 to play.
And that really, that hurts right there. No timeouts. First down here, it's over.
The 3rd and 4 from Metuchen. Leaf just sliding. I don't know if he planned that or just lost his footing. Lost a yard or two. So we're under a minute to play. 4th down. Call it 6. Rams still may get, offense may get one more opportunity. Leaf off that rollout, cuts inside, met there by Murphy. With 39 seconds to play, so the Ram offense comes on the field. One more try. So it's not over yet if you're a South River fan. It's going to be difficult, though. Rams, in effect, have to work their 2-minute offense with 39 seconds.
That's true, Craig. They have to fire up, and the defense is back for Metuchen.
Long heave by Laporte for Sadowski. Incomplete. Had double coverage. Stops the clock with 19 seconds. That time maybe the Rams didn't go deep. Just a short pattern and get out of bounds. Stop the clock.
You got to go deep all 4 times. Just 3 receivers to the right.
Interference.
Heave it up. Just hope for some luck at this point. You really can't get anything going. No timeouts, 19 seconds left.
So 2nd and 10 for South River. Will pour back to throw under pressure. It's complete to Chipkowski. Going to try to get out of bounds, and he does. Pushed out of bounds by Bridges. Stops the clock with 10 seconds. Picks up the first down. So Joe May comes on, replacing Dean. This is secondary. Jordan Lewis, Mark Bridges, and Ed Feebles back deep. It's about 10 yards in back of their linebackers. Rams send 3 back to the left, Sadowski to the right. Laporte under pressure. He is sacked with 4 seconds, and that'll do it. Let's wrap it up here. Rams fall to 3-2. The Bulldogs are 4-1 in the first quarter. Metuchen got on the board. Rob Leaf, an 11-yard run with 3:35 to play in the first quarter. Kick fail, so 6-0 Metuchen. Rams really came on in the second quarter. Michael Laporte, second touchdown pass on the year, 50 yards to Sadowski. His extra point made it 7-6, and then Michael Laporte able to connect from 24 yards out. And that made it 10-6 Rams at halftime. No scoring in the third quarter, and in the fourth, the key play, Leaf, 13-yard run, his second touchdown on the day. Jordan Lewis 2-point try made it 14-10. The Rams, who had such a superb second quarter, but the second half was 3 plays and punt, 3 plays and punt. And that late drive in the fourth quarter did it. 2 first downs in the entire second half for South River. Offense just died.
The big play, the pump block, turned the game around. Up to that point, Metuchen didn't have the ball in South River territory in the second half. They get a break, they fires them up, they go in for the score. Now this loss is a big one for South River. Now this doesn't look good for them to get into the playoffs. Some really drastic things have to happen. I mean, Highland Park has to lose a couple. New Brunswick is, I think, in the same boat as 4-2 as South River. So Metuchen looks like they just might get into the playoffs.
So we'll see everybody next Saturday night. Airtime 6 o'clock. Rams and the Chargers of Spotswood from Denny Stadium. Thanks a lot for Don Fadden for all his help with stats, and our crew, Art London and Andy Jason O. So for Mark Gregory, I'm Craig Scupp. The final score from Edgar Field: Metuchen 14, South River 10. Hope you enjoy the action. Goodbye, everybody.